You may have done a great job on it, but we're all taking a look at our work for number 15. So 15 said Marshall buys a sack of peaches for $5.98. So we have a sack of peaches, $5.98. Okay, so then it says if the peaches weigh 0.77 pounds, we want to find the cost per pound. What kind of number is what we are looking for? What kind of number is what we are looking for, Christiana? That's a rate. All right, so that is used in multiplication. So parts equal to our whole. Well, we're dealing with money and total pounds. Well, the numerator information in our rate is money, which means my whole is going to be my total money. Because I have its cost per pound. So my total number of pounds has to be multiplied by my cost per pound. Which means my total amount of money is my whole. Because that's what we're looking to find. That's what we're measuring most, is we're measuring the total amount of money that we're spending. That's our whole. Alright, well I have a cost per pound times my number of pounds. So there is my game plan. I do not have division in game plans. 99.9% of the time you are not having division in game plans. You may use division when you're solving, but you don't have division in game plans. We have a rate. A rate's used with multiplication. I don't know my rate, my cost per pound, so there's my x. So my number of pounds is 2.77 times x is equal to 5.98. All right, and we want to estimate. So I'm going to change this equation to an estimate. So 2.77 is close to 3. Is equal to 5.98 is close to 6. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 2. So this would be the cost is approximately $2 per pound. I still have to see all the steps in writing your given, writing your game plan, writing your equation, solving the equation with all the proper steps. I have to see all of that. So you're all looking at number 15 and seeing, did I have all of that? Do you guys see random math anywhere on that page? Nope, not at all. I don't want random math. If we had to have an exact somewhere off to the side, I would see 5.98 divided by 2.77 and that long division. But that's not random math. That's support math because I know I have to bring that back to my equation. All right, what else can I do for you guys? Michaela? All right, let's take a look at number 7. Number 7 said Tom bought 6 hamburgers. He bought 6 hamburgers, and they were $2.89 each. Well, what kind of number is that? $2.89 each. Alex? That's a rate. If I wrote that as a rate, $2.89 per hamburger. That's a rate, which means it's one of my parts. What information do I know I need to multiply that cost per hamburger by? Come on. What information do I know I have to multiply that cost per hamburger by? Audrey? The number of burgers, because that's our denominator information. So this is all going through your head when you see a rate, Angela. This is all going through your head. You're making a plan as you're writing it down. Oh, that's a rate. Oh, I know, that's cost per hamburger. Oh, I have to multiply that by my hamburgers. That's all going through your head. So you're starting your game plan as you're writing down your givens. So I have cost per burger times my number of burgers equals my total cost. So there's my game plan. I'm going to throw my numbers in. You're throwing your actual numbers in. Lila, come on. We're putting our actual numbers in. We're putting a variable for what we don't know. We are writing equations. I recognize the first couple that we had, a lot of what we had was just skill stuff. They were not equations that we were solving. When we have story problems, we have equations. So, my total cost is my x. So my equation is going to be 2.89 times 6 is equal to x. So there's my equation. They want us to estimate it. So 2.89 is close to 3 times 6 is equal to my x. So my x is equal to 18. So the total cost is approximately, and you are saying approximately because it's not exact, is approximately $18. And I want to see a dollar sign before the money. That's how we write money. I don't want to see 18 and then the word dollars. That's not how we write money in the United States. Questions? All right, so if the story problem 1 threw you off, go back to 8, do 8 by yourself. Set up those game plans, please. Are there any other ones that you guys want to talk about? Yes. 27. Okay, so if I take a look at 27, Emerson, this is one we were talking about, right? Yeah, okay. So if you take a look at number 25, it's telling you to estimate each hourly wage. So you should have written this table down, and I know you weren't asking for 25, but $733.20, what would you round that to, or estimate that at? Come on, anybody. What would 25 said, estimate the hourly wage for each staff position. So what would you estimate $733.20 to, Jack? Well, right now I don't know what I'm doing with it. So right now, put your hand down, please. I would probably round this to 730 or 700, depending on what I'm using it for. Okay? So this part 20, this 25, it really does, Jack, to your point, it kind of depends on what we're using it for, right? So if we're using it for multiplication, maybe multiplying it by, changing it to 730 might not be a bad idea. I actually would probably change it to 700 if I was going to the nearest hundreds. So I think it depends on what we're using it for 25. All right, so that's a hard one to decide what you want to use it for. All right, estimating the yearly 52-week salary. All right, so 52 weeks is approximately 50 weeks. All right, 733, I probably would change that to 700 so I can do easy mental math. 700 times 50 is probably what I would have done. It's a little low. I could change that to 730 if that's a mental math problem for you. I don't want to do a lot of long multiplication. That's what we're trying to avoid when we're estimating. Okay. 27 said, how much more per hour does a physical therapist in Dallas make than a physical therapist in Washington? So I'm going to go ahead and write that down, just that information down for just that one problem, Alex, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? Okay. So what they're telling us is we are comparing a physical therapist in Dallas to a physical therapist in Washington, D.C. All right, and what we're comparing is their cost per hour is what we are comparing. Do you agree with me that that's what we're comparing? Okay. So now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to get that information. God bless you. My cost per hour for a physical therapist in Dallas is $733.20 per hour. A physical therapist in DC is $655.20 per hour. All right, like I said before, when you're estimating these, it depends on what you're estimating it for. When we were estimating it in 26, we wanted to, so for number 26, we wanted to know their yearly salary. That's 52 weeks. I'm doing this because I need you guys to you guys have to make some decisions. So if I want to estimate my yearly salary for 26, this $733.20, I need to multiply that by my 52. That's going to give me my yearly salary. Because that's my cost per hour. My cost per hour. That's my cost per week. This is per week. This is per week. Let's make sure that I write this information down properly. This is cost per week. So my cost per week times my number of weeks gives me my yearly salary. So there's my game plan that I would have used for all of these. Here's the actual. Well, for me to do mental math, I'm going to use 700 times 500 for my yearly salary. All right, so this is approximately $3,500. However, up here, I'm comparing we want to compare the cost per hour. All right, one of the things, what did they tell us on our table? Someone tell me again, what are all of these wages? What do all these wages represent? So what does $733.20 mean? What does $655.20 mean? Kira? Per week. How many of you guys recognize that's per week? Okay? But in 27, we want to compare per hour. What do we know about our week? Everyone's looking at the board. 27, we were comparing per hour. What do we know about our information here when it comes to a week? Layla? It's a 40-hour week. So we have to change these into hourly wages individually. So we've got to come up with a way to do that. So if we have a 40-hour week, all right, so I want to know if I have my cost per hour times my number of hours, this is going to give me, and this is in a week, this is going to give me my cost per week. How many of you guys can see that? This is my number of cost per hour, my number of hours in a week. This is going to be my cost per week. There's my game plan. So I'm going to say I have $733.20 times 40 hours gives me my X, which is what I'm looking for here. Well, I'm multiplying these. So I'm going to call this 700 times 40. So this is going to be 28 with 3 zeros on that. So this is X. So this is $28,000 per week is what I am estimating that to. Does that sound right to you guys? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Does that sound right? No. I'm doing the wrong thing. Let me think about that for a second. I'm looking for, I know what I'm doing. I have the wrong thing missing. That was way too big. What I'm missing is that. My cost per hour is what I'm missing. I know how much I'm making in a week. So this is going to be 40 times X is equal to $733.20. That makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to divide both sides by 40, and I have x equals, well, this is going to be approximately, here is my, so I'm going to change this, I agree with you, I'm going to change this to 800, and I'm going to leave this as 40. So here, as Jack had said, it really does depend. He said, I am going to change that to 800 because it's compatible with 40. But as you can see, it's a lot higher, and that's not what I changed it to when I was using it in multiplication. You kind of have to pay attention to what is it I'm using the number for with what I estimate it to. All right, so those two cancel each other out, and I have x is approximately $20 per hour. And then what you would do with that, Alex, is find both of them and then set up an equation to find the difference between them. All right, put this away, get your notes out. That one was a harder one, but it's important to understand how rates work and how to think things through from an analytical standpoint. Okay, so today is 11/19. We are moving into mean, median, and mode, so we're kind of getting away a little bit. We're still dealing with decimals. If you notice, the common thread so far is decimals. All right, so we're dealing with 3.3 is mean, median, and mode. Depending on how far we get here, we may have to adjust our homework. We'll take a look. All right, these are called measures of central tendencies. These are called measures of central tendencies. Our mean, if you remember from last year, it's the sum of all the data. What operation goes with sum? What operation goes with sum? Frankie? Yep, that's the addition of all the data divided by the number of data items. All right, we're going to be setting up equations for that. I'm hoping you guys remember how to do these. Median, this is the number or numbers right in the middle of the data when listed from least to greatest. All right, so when we have an odd number of data items, our median is the number right in the middle. So when we have an odd number of data items, the median is the one right in the middle. When we have an even number of data items, we need to find the mean of the two middle numbers. When we have an even number of data items. All right, mode, that's the data item or data items that appear most often. So data item or items that appear most often. The one thing to understand about mode It does not have to be numbers. Where mean, median, where mean and median do have to be numbers. How many of you guys remember some of this? Okay. So we are going to find the mean, median, and mode for some data. You guys good so far? Okay. You may not use a calculator. All right. So this is the example I want to do. We have a readathon. And these are the number of pages students have read. All right, so we have 40 pages, 45 pages, 48 pages, 50 pages, another kid with 50 pages, and then 59. These are all pages. And I want to find the mean, median, and mode. All right, first of all, let's find our mean. I have to see a mean equation. So this is a requirement. So I have 40 plus. You have to show you're adding. 45 plus 48 plus 50 plus 50 plus 59. I have to see that. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off to the side, however you want to add these. It's going to be 85. I'm just going to put dot, 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 because however you want to add them, you can add them. We're going to come back here. I'm going to give you the final addition. If I add those all together, I get 292. So over here is your adding. How you want to add them, I don't care. But I have to see the equation. I have to see what we come back to. All right, this says 292 divided by 6. So I'm going to see 292 divided by 6. I'm going to see that math somewhere. We're going to come back here. When I do that division, I end up getting 48.6, and that 6 is repeating. All right, so my mean, I want to round it one place value smaller than our data. So round one place value, this is my rule, smaller than the data. So if I rounded this 48.666666, what would be my mean then? If I round it one place value smaller than the data, what would be my mean? Romano? One place value smaller than the data. So what is the place value all this data is going out to? Not the tens. Come on. What's the 5 in? What's the 0 in? What's the 8 in? The ones. So what's one place value lower than ones? No, there's no zeros. Tenths. So what would this be rounded to the nearest tenth? Not 0.1. Dude, it's 48.6666. I need to round to right here. Why would it be 48.10? Someone help him out. What would this be? If I'm rounding to the nearest tenths, what would this round to? Come on, you have to know how to round. Mateo? 48.7. All right, let's do our median. So what I do is I go back up to my list, and I start crossing out, because I've already have them in order of least to greatest. If you notice in my mean, this is least to greatest in my mean. So I'm just going to go back to my mean, and I'm going to start crossing off the front and the back, and I ended up with 2 in the middle. So my median is going to be 48 plus 50 divided by 2. All right, 48 plus 50 is going to give me 98 divided by 2, and my median is going to be 49. How about my mode? Remember, the mode is the one that repeats the most often. And it can be no mode. If there's none repeating, it would be no mode, right? If there's two repeating and they repeat the same, they both could be the mode, right? So what here is my mode? Addison? 50 is my mode. All right, when it comes to mode, we can have one mode. We can have more than one. We can have no mode. These are my options for mode. One means that only one number repeats. More than one is we have several that repeat the same amount. And no mode means that none repeat. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I just want to check our homework. I have 1 through 12. That's fine. That's fine. We have not talked about an outlier. What does an outlier mean? What is an outlier in a group of data? What's an outlier? Jack?
A number that is far away from the other.
Yeah, so this is a number way bigger or way smaller than rest of data. So you're going to be dealing with outliers. All right, and then 26. You're good with 26. All right, so that's your homework. You guys are good to go. Yes, sweetheart.